Avanam Kevalam Avanamo Kevalam Avanam Kevalam. Today we talk about yoga. Actually, so many people have so many ideas what yoga is, and in common parlance the understanding of yoga is quite limited. Mostly limited to, bending your body left, right, forward and backward and so on. But yoga is much more than that. It takes into account the trifarious existence of human beings. Physical, mental and spiritual. But why there are so many yogas, there's Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Gyan Yoga, Vishesh Yoga, Sahaj Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, Hatha Yoga, so many yogas. There's even Hot Yoga, so many different kind of forms of yoga today. So people might get confused. If you look into history, we find that the first roots of yoga go back to Shiva's time, 7,000 years ago in India. Now you should know, actually Shiva was not just a mythological figure. Actually he was a human being like you and me in flesh and blood, but in addition he was quite extraordinary. He was extraordinary in his abilities and his skills and his powers, and also particularly special in his contribution to the society. So he systematized first yoga in a methodological way and included all the aspects of life. Actually, he taught a fulfilling lifestyle, which included all the aspects, physical, mental, and spiritual. In fact, he contributed so many things to humanity. For example, even in music, he started a musical scale. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. These are the first letters of different animals, because in those days we didn't have a tuning fork, or even an electronic tuner. He contributed in many ways. In other ways, he actually is the founder of family system, which was non-existing in those days. So he contributed in music and rhythm, also in dance, in meditation and yoga. In fact, it was an all-round science. And it is Tantra Yoga. Tantra Yoga actually is also misunderstood in many ways in modern times. But simply Tan means darkness. Darkness or ignorance in the sense of spirituality, that we are not aware of a higher being, a higher existence, a higher consciousness. And Tra means that which relieves from this darkness. So actually we are getting now to the true meaning of yoga. Literally, yoga means to merge your unit consciousness with the cosmic consciousness or supreme consciousness. And later on, within the hundreds and thousands of years, people specialized on one or the other aspect. So Shiva was definitely teaching also the yoga exercises, the Hatha Yoga, bending the body, breathing exercises. So people specialized on that one, it became Hatha Yoga. In yoga and meditation, we use a mantra, so people specialized on that one, it became Mantra Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, etc., etc. But it was originally taught as an all-round science. And today we should keep all the aspects in mind. It is possible to practice every day the different aspects of yoga, but it comes all under the umbrella of Tantra Yoga. So yoga, as I say, literally it means to merge the unit consciousness with the cosmic consciousness. So how can we feel the cosmic consciousness? Where is the cosmic consciousness? So many people talk about, give different names, Brahma, God, what is the benefit anyway in the first place? Why should I merge my unit consciousness in the cosmic consciousness? Well, everybody wants to be happy, and everybody finds some way to be happy. But we have to experience all the time that whenever we find the satisfaction of our desires and needs with physical objects, then also the satisfaction will be in a limited way. Because each and every object in this universe has boundaries, spatial boundaries, temporal boundaries, and even personal boundaries, in the sense that everybody perceives things in this universe in a different way. So everything is limited to time, place, and person, what we find around us. For example, let's take, I have a pen here. This pen is one of the manifold objects in this universe. So it did not exist 100 years ago, and in another 100 years, well, it certainly will look different. So there's a temporal limitation to this object. It is here, it is not there, it's not in South America or on Mars. So there's a spatial limitation also. And the way I see the pen, I think is, you may see the pen quite in a different way. And also, if you just study a little bit about quantum physics, already 100 years ago, it was found out that in a microscopic world, things move in a surprisingly way that actually when we observe the object, this influence does simply by our observation. So anything we find around us is bound to time, place, and person. But what the human heart inside, what we really search for is everlasting happiness. We have actually hidden in ourselves a strong desire to expand ourselves, to expand our mind towards that infinite supreme consciousness. So it is not a negation of this world, because actually nothing is outside the supreme consciousness. But even these material objects are nothing but a manifestation of the supreme consciousness. But to experience the infinite happiness, infinite bliss, we have to move away temporarily from the world around us, because it is filled with limited objects. So we find that our mind wants to merge with the infinite, but it is linked with the finite. How our mind is linked with the finite? Actually through our motory organs and sensory organs. So we have 5 motory organs: our anus, genital organ, our feet, legs, and our hands. And vocal cord, these are our motory organs. And then we have also 5 sensory organs, everyone knows. Our ear, eye, nose, tongue, and our skin. So through these motory organs and sensory organs, we are linked with the world around us. But what does that mean? Actually, it means that our mind takes also the shape of all these limited objects. Because through the vibration of each and every item, there are minute waves striking our sensory organs, and there is a quite complex process, but eventually our mind takes the shape of this object. So as long as our mind takes this shape of a limited object, it cannot expand, it cannot merge with the supreme consciousness. So temporarily we have to withdraw our mind from the external world. And therefore we have a process, we have a methodological process by by which we can actually withdraw our mind from these finite entities in order to pave the way for experiencing that infinite entity. And that's what all yoga is about, actually. Nothing else. Yoga, we want to merge our unit consciousness with the cosmic consciousness, with the supreme consciousness. And that is the process that temporarily we withdraw first our mind from the external world, and then we focus our mind on the higher reasons, actually, of even of our physical body, because according to the plexus, the psychic centers, if we focus our mind in more higher regions, we have also more the opportunity to reach subtler spheres. And, well, you may say, why we have to sit like this in meditation? I just can relax and lie down. I can think of the Supreme while I lie down. Well, yeah, if you can, it's fine. But most likely, after a while, you will fall asleep. It might be too comfortable. So actually, the scientific explanation of why we sit in meditation, you might have asked, why these people sit actually like that? But it explains exactly what I mentioned. You know, we have the 5 motory organs. So of course, you like to clean your bowel, don't have the urge to go to the toilet before you do the meditation, naturally. And then we have the motory organs, legs, feet, so that's why we interlock them. So we are not about to move, because any movement means also being linked with space and time. So then we fold our hands like this. This is our next motory organ. So we fold our hands. We can do it this way or that way. It is up to you. And we try to sit straight so we don't fall asleep. If we sit for a while without moving in this position, we get also control over our sensory organ skin. You get a different sensation after a while. Then, of course, we don't need to speak. It's easy to control our vocal cords. Then we have all 5 motory organs under control. Now, as regards to the sensory organ, I mentioned already about the skin. We close our eyes. It's also quite easy. It's more difficult to control our ears. You can use some earplugs if you want. And well, it will be more difficult to put some plugs in your nose, because eventually you have to breathe. And better you breathe through your nose rather through your mouth. It will be more calm and more quiet. In fact, you can keep your tongue up to the palate. That helps you also to control the sensation of taste. So gradually we bring under control our motory and sensory organs. But even once you have withdrawn your mind from the external world, you find again that your I-ness, your feeling of yourself, your identity still is spread out throughout your body. So you like to focus it in one point and improve your concentration. Mind can be extremely powerful if it is concentrated. And if you just sit still for a few minutes, you will actually realize how your mind is jumping here and there. Most people are not aware of it, actually, because we are just in this mill all the time. So, to move further, get your mind further under control, we can use different techniques like repeating a mantra, so that mind will not talk so much. We are constantly talking with ourselves. Oh, I have to make this phone call. How was it yesterday actually? Oh, I should have actually talked it. Oh, how was this? Very good. So mind is jumping here and there. A mantra helps to direct your energy into one direction. And that's what all meditation is about. As we think, so as you think, so you become. If we think I'm not able to do that, I'm very weak, I never have tried this, and I don't know how to do that, I never learned this, and anyway, it's impossible for me to do. So you cannot achieve anything in life. But your determination, your willpower, will enable you to do miracles, to do things you never imagined you actually could do. So it's not an easy job to think about Supreme Consciousness or Cosmic Consciousness. It's an effort. And the methodological process which I just described, to withdraw your mind first from the external world, because they are all limited objects, and then withdraw your mind further and focus it. This is just a tool, it's just an aid. But eventually we just have to constantly think of that Supreme Entity. So that's all what yoga and meditation actually is about. Yoga has so many different aspects, but all actually help to achieve the goal. And what is the goal? As I mentioned, to really become one with that entity, just like a drop of water. Take it as a symbol of your unit I, of your unit consciousness, and then there's this ocean of the Supreme Entity symbolizing this. So we are just jumping like in the ocean, we are merging in the ocean, with constantly ideating on that Supreme Entity. So you will lose your identity as a drop, but you are not lost. You have adopted a new identity, the identity of the Supreme, the identity of this big ocean. So that's the real inner meaning, and the simple point is the meditation. All other aspects of yogas help in this process to make your meditation more profound, more deep, more skilled, more focused, more concentrated. And it is not just a theoretical concept of expanding your mind. Actually, it is a it's a reality, it's a real possibility for you to lose yourself in that Supreme Entity. It's not a dream, it's not just like a fantasizing. It is something you can experience in your life, in your practice, with full awareness. You're full aware. So I wish you good success in your attempt, your practices. Thank you.